Hey, as you can tell, we're starting to get into areas where I had to help some students. Number one should have been pretty easy because you've been doing that since 6th grade, right, Tanner? So, actually 7th grade. But if you find the slope, that's just y2 minus y1 over x2 minus x1. So y2, remember, is your second y minus your first y over your second x minus your first x. Whenever you type that in, you get 3/4. The second one, you just do rise over run. Well, if we go from this point to this point, we went up 1, 2, 3 over 1, 2, 3. You have to simplify your fractions, so 3 over 3 does reduce down to 1. Okay, on number 3, there's several different ways you could have done this. You could have gotten the y by itself. I feel like most of you probably did not do that because that requires the most work. What you could have done also is just plugged in the Desmos, and that's what I'm betting most of you did. So if you plug in the Desmos, you get 8x plus 2y equals -10. Okay, we put this in Desmos. Whenever we put this in Desmos, you get a decimal point right there, so you would have to choose 2 points that are non-decimal. So right here, this point right here, it hits that little box perfectly. So from here I go down 1, 2, 3, 4, and over 1. Down 4 over 1 would reduce down to -4. Number 4, all you would do is just type in y equals 4, and hopefully y'all can tell me what type of slope that would have. If it's going left or right, what type of slope does it have? 0. What would undefined look like?
It's up and down.
Straight up and down. If this said x equals 4, then that would have been undefined. All right, on this one you could tell I've already helped a student with, but this one was just more of common sense. Hopefully y'all got that. But you have y equals x plus 2, and then y equals x plus 4. Okay, so from the black line to the red line, the only answer choice that makes any sense is that it did move up 2 places. It didn't move right at all. It moved left. So we know it's not that one. And it didn't go down. So that one was why I said it was just kind of common sense. This one, you type in 2x minus 3y equals -7. That one we can quickly mark out B and C because it's not going down. And the one that goes into the second quadrant is A. D doesn't even go into the second quadrant, so no, it's not D. Then 7, X and Y intercepts. I don't think I need to go over that, but I'll just show you real quick just in case. X-intercept is where it crosses the x-axis. It crosses the x-axis at 3.5. Y-intercept is where it crosses the y-axis. It crosses the y-axis at -1.75. So that's why that is the answer. And then 8, remember solutions. Solutions, roots, and zeros all mean x-intercept, where they cross the x-axis. So basically, all you have to do for this is just type it in Desmos and see where it crosses the x-axis. It crosses the x-axis at -2, 0. So if you see the word solutions, I know I've said this 100 times, but I want to make sure you remember solutions, roots, or zeros. It is just the x-intercept where it crosses the x-axis. All right, number 9. That one you just type in each equation, and actually there's even a easier thing you could do with this. Type in the order pair. So we have negative 4, 2. Israel, make sure you're paying attention, please. So negative 4, 2, and then type in each one of these equations. X plus 6. Okay, does that one hit the line? Does that point hit the line? Yes. But we also have to look for a slope of 1. Let's see if it has a slope of 1. Oh, actually, it looks like it does. So here we go, up 1 over 1. Up 1 over 1. So actually, that's the right answer. If it was not that one, you would just try that with the next one. The way you would do it by hand, you can look at this paper. If y'all remember doing the y minus y1 equals n parentheses x minus x1, that's how you do it by hand. I don't think any of y'all are going to do that, so that's why I was showing you the Desmos method. All right, same thing here. We just type this into Desmos and see which one makes that graph. Y equals 2x plus 3. I'll press the home button so I can get back there. Okay, so if we look here, we know it's got to be 0, 3. So that one does hit 0, 3, but it also hits at negative 1.50. Negative 1.50 would be right here. So we know it's not A. So now let's try B. B is the same thing except there's a negative there. Is that right? No, because this line's going down. So we know we can't have a negative slope. If we can't have a negative slope, we know it cannot be B or D. So let's try C. 1/2 x plus 3. Okay, did cross the 0, 3 again. And if you notice, this is going past negative 5. It looks like it's going to hit 6, and that's actually what it does. And you can tell there that it does that. So this one would be C. Okay, same thing here. You just type in all these. I'll go ahead and show you the right answer since I already have it circled. Here we have x plus 2y equals negative 8. Whenever you type that in, the y-intercept of negative 4, that means it crosses the y-axis at negative 4. As you can tell, it does. And then a slope of negative 1/2. That means we would go down 1 over 2. Down 1 over 2, down 1 over 2. So everything lines up with that. Okay, on this one.
What was 11?
Huh?
What was 11? Was that D?
Israel, put your head up. It was D, yes.
Okay.
Israel, your SOL is literally just a few days away. You're going to want to pay attention. This is our last day in here before the SOL. So, I'd like to, since I have Desmos, I'd like to type in these order pairs. That way I can just look for them. So I'm looking for negative 2, 2. Will they? I'm curious. I don't know if you could type in more than one online or not. 5, 9? Yeah. So let's type in both of those. I didn't even know you could do that until just now. I've always done it on 2 separate lines. Okay, does this black line hit both of those purple marks?
Yes.
Yes. So we already know it's A. That's the Desmos method. If you want to do by hand, I didn't even do I showed them the Desmos method too. By hand, you would have had to find the slope first and then did what we did on the other page. So it's a lot more work. So 13, let's just do the same thing. We'll type in these 2 order pairs. Negative 6, 8, and 2, 8. And this time we are looking for the line that will go through both of those. So x equals -6. If we type that in, we can already tell it does not hit that line, so we know it's not A. Then we try y equals 2. That one doesn't hit any of the points, so we know it's not B. X equals 8. That one doesn't hit any points, so we know it's not C, so it's got to be D. If you look there, it hits that point and that point. And another way, you could have used a little bit of common sense on this one, because all these are x equals or y equals. Well, for it to be x equals -6, both of these would have to be -6. For it to be y equals 2, both of these would have to be 2. That's why it ends up being y equals 8, because both of them are 8. It's not x equals 8 because neither one of the x values are 8. Okay, 14, you can just type in real quick into Desmos. You're just going to type in each one until you see which one works. But what do y'all notice about this line? Is it solid or dotted? Solid. So which two can we mark out just because of that? A and C. So now we only have to try 2 inequalities. I highly recommend marking out the ones you know it cannot be, just to save you some time. Now remember, your algebra SOL, math SOLs are one of the few SOLs that you're allowed all day to work on. You all will start at 8:30 and you will finish when you finish. I know some people that finish at like 6 p.m. Now, if you start at 8:30 in the morning, should it take you 6 p.m. to finish? No. That person had no clue what they were doing. They were just hoping that like God would like put answers in their head. But yeah, if it should, the typical Algebra 1 SOL will be 3 to 4 hours. Really, after that point, you probably don't know what you're doing if you're still working. Unless you're just trying really hard to work out every single thing by hand. But once you type those in, it makes it pretty obvious that it is D.